Welcome to the Knowledge Hub. Today we are going to discussing about the solitary confinement. What is the solitary confinement? It is nothing but the isolation of a prisoner. The isolation of a prisoner in a separate cell as a punishment. It is nothing but the isolation of a prisoner in a separate cell as a punishment. Section 73 and 74 of IPC deals about the solitary confinement. The code empowers the court to impose solitary confinement to certain persons and in relation to the certain offences. It is also part of the imprisonment. A harsh and hardened convict may be confined in a separate cell to correct his conduct. He is put separately without interacting with other prisoners. All connections are severed with other world. The object of this punishment is to reform the hardened and habitual offender and in order to experience him with the loneliness. The punishment is to reform the hardened and habitual offender. To reform the hardened and habitual offender and in order to experience him with loneliness. There are certain restrictions in imposing solitary confinement. The first one is the solitary confinement should not exceed 3 months. Of the whole term of the imprisonment. And second one is it cannot be awarded where imprisonment is not part of the substantive sentence. And it cannot be also awarded for the whole term of imprisonment. Further, according to section 73 and one more thing. Third point is it cannot be awarded where imprisonment is in lieu of fine. ఫైన్ ఇంపోజ్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్ని అవార్డ్ చేయకూడదు. అండ్ ఫోర్త్ వన్ ఈజ్ ద cannot also be awarded for whole term of the imprisonment. The following scale is the about the solitary confinement. Time not exceeding 1 month. If the term of imprisonment shall not exceed 6 months. Term of imprisonment term shall not exceed 6 months and a time not exceeding 2 months. A time not exceeding 2 months if the term of the imprisonment shall exceed 6 months and shall not exceed 1 year. And next one is a time not exceeding 3 months. And if the imprisonment term is shall exceed 1 year. 1 year imprisonment పడితే 3 months కన్నా ఎక్కువ సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్ పెట్టకూడదు. ఈవెన్ 6 months to 1 year ఉంటే 2 months పెట్టాలి. 6 months లోపలైతే 1 month మాత్రమే సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ సెక్షన్ 74 ఏం చెప్తుందంటే లిమిట్స్ టు ద సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్. In several European countries including Great Britain, the solitary confinement punishment was repealed. Section 74 says about the limits of the solitary confinement. It is imposed for a long time. It adversely affects the human beings and creates mental deterrent. And This section says that solitary confinement shall no case exceed 14 days. No case shall exceed 14 days at a time, with intervals between the periods of solitary confinement of not less than duration such periods, and when the imprisonment awarded shall exceed 3 months, such confinement shall not exceed 7 days in any 1 month of the whole imprisonment awarded, with intervals between the periods of solitary confinement of not less than duration than such periods. 14 days intervals ఉండాలి. కంటిన్యూయస్ సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్ పెట్టకూడదు. ఒకవేళ 3 months ఇంప్రిజన్మెంట్ ఉంటే 7 days ఇంటర్వెల్స్ ప్రకారం సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్ అనేది ఇంపోజ్ చేయాలి. దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద సాలిటరీ కన్ఫైన్మెంట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.